What is going on? We are here again. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? How's everyone doing?
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
It's draft time. Everybody, is my favorite time of the season outside of the United Bowl for obvious reasons. But we are here in Anchorage, Alaska for the 11th entry draft here in the United Sim Football Association. You already know who I am. I'm Stacks. I am your guy on the mic, and I got another guy on the mic. He's the lead going to what's happening. Caboose, how are you feeling outside of stress?
I didn't realize there was more things than stress to feel. So, but we are doing just fine out here. Got 12 teams chomping at the bit, ready to select their next crop of rookies heading into the big leagues. We have rounds 1 through 3 today, so 36 selections to be made today, and then the last 48 to be made tomorrow. Absolutely. We've got, if anyone was unable to see the draft lottery results, we have New Jersey up first, followed by Tacoma, and then St. Louis. There has been a lot of clamor from team owners about trying to move up in this draft. I don't care, ESPN, please be quiet for now. A lot of people trying to move up in this draft. A lot of people trying to break into the first round. It has been something, quite the sight to see. So, a lot of potential for movement early as we get into this. But I have the honor of starting us off here, and I think that without further ado, the New York Mafia are going to be on the clock right now.
Let's go ahead and do it then. Let's go ahead and do it. New York, New Jersey or New York? I heard something different.
New Jersey.
Yeah,
New Jersey.
I heard something different in my head, but we are here. Let's go ahead and get this clock a rolling. 5 minutes here. And New Jersey can go a lot of different ways. Here in this one, folks, the best available, as you see on the screen to your right. Got that ready to go. They could go a lot of different ways. Halfback is up there. Dolph Hustle is definitely up there if you need a steady halfback. If they want to go defense, there's plenty of defenders up there. And we could go on and on and on. As you can see, a lot of 750s up in the top. So I'm expecting the majority of them to be taken in the first round. We'll see if anyone dips outside of the 750 club. But plenty of games here. Plenty of games coming up as well. Season 11 is coming up real soon, next month. Or right at the end of this month. Which one is it, Caboose?
We are in May right now.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I was not paying attention to your question at all.
It happens. No, I'm saying the beginning of season, well, week 1 of season 11 will start at the end of May or at the beginning of June?
I would need to pull up my schedule. I'm assuming it's going to be right at the end of May.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of big things happening here. New Jersey, looking to see what they are going to be picking. Obviously, I have no clue what's going on, even though I kind of want to get into the mix, see what they're thinking about, but it's a lot better hearing it live, give those authentic reactions and see what directions they go, all the good stuff. But if I was to make a particular prediction, I would say halfback would definitely be up there. Dolph Hustle. You also have the homie Max Prime here. You can't see my cursor, but I'm pointing right at Positively Prime. Definitely one of the OGs in the Sim League game if you wanted to go that route. Linebackers, there's Brian Nesh. He popped into the chat. He's hyped up. And I think they could use another linebacker to help out that defense. And that was one of the big things that was messing up with New Jersey last season, was being able to stop other teams from scoring. So if you have a great chance on the defensive front to make stops, you see what Toronto did I mean, that could be something to follow for the other teams in the mix. As we got another 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
All right. Well, the pick from New Jersey is in.
I love to see it. Let's go ahead and get into it. The draft is live, folks. Bring your people. Who do you got?
We have from the University of Cincinnati, halfback Dolph Hustle.
And I called it kind of like how I seen it right there. Dolph Hustle going to New Jersey. Going to be a fun ride watching him battle out. Congratulations to Dolph Hustle, the #1 overall draft pick. I'm going to be saying that all season long because that's what I do. I did it for the big homie and the other side for I did Montezuma plenty of times, so it's going to be a fun ride seeing him battle out.
And we have the Tacoma eruption up on the clock here.
Yeah. Okay.
Means I'm going to go kind of quiet.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay. Let me flip it over to this again. And he said Tacoma, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, we are on Tacoma. And where do we have going on for this?
Tacoma needs a little bit of everything, so...
And there's a lot of players that Tacoma could get onto the mix. They could go wide receiver. That's definitely a great job to give big homie Bridges some more weapons for sure.
Yeah, definitely a lot of options for them. So I am kind of drafting for Tacoma as we do not have an owner for them in place, which means I am standing in. So I am trying to rapidly learn the Tacoma roster and draft for them at the same time.
It'd be like that. But honestly, they could go any which way. Cornerback as well. Good job. Like we always see, defense wins championships. We've seen what happened. 3 interceptions in the United Bowl. I already know that Ryan is going to send a few middle fingers my way for bringing that up here. But got to talk about the past so the teams could work on the future. Definitely could use some linebacker help. Do see Austin Grant up there. He's been a steady earner there in the ECFL, along with Coco Raccoon. If you want to don the Rapid Raccoon in red, that's definitely something that's doable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Brian Eshelman, he could be the next in line, taking over for Tire Wire England, who's getting up there in age. I mean, there's a lot of different directions Tacoma could go in this, as they have 3 minutes left in the draft clock.
For sure. And, I won't stretch this out too much longer, but it was quite a decision to make, but the decision was indeed made. Tacoma has made their selection.
All right, Tacoma is in. Who you got?
We have out of FAU, middle linebacker Coco Raccoon.
Definitely not a bad pick at all. The Coco man himself, Coco Puffs is what I'm going to be calling him in game, and he's going to help a defense that needs a lot of help. Let's be 100% honest. That was one of the big things that they needed to work on, and it's going to be a fun ride seeing him down to red and gray.
Absolutely, and I mean, might as well draft the quarterback of your defense right there, as we have St. Louis coming up on the clock here.
St. Louis is next, the team that only won one game this past season, and they're looking to turn up for sure. Honestly, might as well get the best quarterback. That's just my personal opinion.
I mean, yeah, St. Louis does need a quarterback, but they have back-to-back picks, so they could take someone else here.
Either way, as long as one of those two picks are quarterback, I'd call it a fairly good success right there. Smoke Rivers from North Dakota State and Justin Duke headlined the top two bodies at that spot. So honestly, I think either one of them will be better than Jim Carr was last season. So at that point, I mean, honestly, you could give him a weapon. You could go with Mookie Ryzen. That's right there. You could go with Jamar Carr. There's a few more that they could get at the 750 range. Of course, you see Levy Timmons, the second available, also from FAU. Could make back-to-back FAU picks. You never know. Ralph Rodriguez. If they wanted to draft a halfback, they have Kaju Witten, another North Dakota State guy that can, spell off with big home and Naaman McNamerson. And, of course, like I said in the last couple of teams, defense. And they could go either way, cornerback, safety, linebacker, D-line. They can honestly do a lot of different things with these picks.
For sure. And they've got an entire team to fill, much like Tacoma does right now. The only thing that's really been a good bright spot for them has been their D-line. But even still, it's one or two guys on that's been a bright spot. They could use a quarterback. They definitely need some more receivers. And then some safety help.
They have one really good cornerback named Gum Arabic, who's definitely the flagship of their secondary. Maybe a guy on the opposite side that can help him out. Krishan Cresswell is there. Bill Whitman is there. Chance Ravager, Slater C. He's up there. He's looking to do something. He is a player that used to be in the league as well, so he's familiar with what's available here in the USFA. Could be a solid pick. I mean, they could do a lot of things here with Slater C. And just in general, honestly, the next player they pick is going to be a big help. Let's just say that. They only won one win, so it's only going up from here.
For sure. And while we don't have to wait too much longer, the pick is in from St. Louis, as they will go back on the clock after this.
Sounds like a plan for their first pick. Who do they got?
They have from Rutgers, outside linebacker Austin Grant.
Definitely an interesting pick for sure. But just as I spoke about Slater C being in the league, Austin Grant, a.k.a. Dodger Life, he's going to be taking a trip to St. Louis, going high on the board right there. Top 6 pick, can't be mad at it. And, of course, we did say defense wins championships. Maybe they're taking a little bit off the cusp for what what Toronto did in this past playoff set. And see if they could build something up from the other side. I can't be mad at that.
Definitely. As we see St. Louis come up here back on the clock, and you got to think they take their quarterback here.
I'd have to think so. At the very least, obviously they wasn't going to pick 2 quarterbacks back to back, but that still leaves at least one of them available if that's what they choose to get. Now, what they do past that, I have to see their next pick. I believe it is in the second round, but there'll still be some high availability for those picks when he gets around.
Definitely. And this is probably one of our deepest classes in a long time. So the entire second round, I expect to still be potential first round talent.
Plenty of first round talent. I'm pretty sure this whole day is going to be, I'll say, how many picks are there? 36 of them?
36,
I'll say at least 30 of them will be 750 players.
I would not doubt it, yeah.
As we go ahead and wait for Tertz to make his second straight selection, and I believe we're both pretty set on him picking a quarterback. Smoke Rivers definitely did a great job in NDSU. Justin Duke, I'm not as familiar with in regards to the player, mostly because I played on NDSU with my cornerback, but Either one of those guys, from what I've seen, they have the arm talent. They could get it anywhere on the field, and I would think it'll be a fun ride watching these players throw some darts in the USFA next season.
For sure. There's a number of teams that need them. I know, I'm pretty sure Dallas, Anchorage, St. Louis, and perhaps I'm missing a team in the East somewhere. What team am I missing in the East? Oh, no, there's no team in the East that I think needs a quarterback. So those three teams could use a quarterback potentially.
And it's pretty big because the drop off on the quarterback position is pretty big after these two go. At that point, you got a 500, so you got a tier 3 guy named Oscar Aden, aka T. Harris. So he's listed as a tier 3 type of player, but he says he's ready to make his mark as well. As you see right there, I got him marked over on this side for the people watching. And yeah, let's see what they do. Still have another 3 minutes or so.
Yeah, plenty of time here for them still. No need to rush the decision. Better to take your time, make sure you get it right, than to rush through it and get it wrong, because this could be the future of your team at stake here. That's kind of what makes these, these drafts so important, is that if you draft poorly and you got guys who aren't active, don't update, you're not going to go much of anywhere anytime soon. You really need to find these guys that are going to come in, help your team grow, and be active.
Most definitely. As we got the final 2 minutes here on the clock here for Turks taking his sweet time in this one, as always. Double checking in the chat. People asking, where is the trades? I'm sure they're around the corner. Haven't quite seen one yet, but got an interesting set coming here. Let's see Quentin Sackham's #1 pick next year. T. Harris, my boy, up in there, showing some love. Just checking this chat, peoples. Hope everyone's having a blessed Saturday. One of my favorite days is draft day.
All right, well, we do have the pick in here from St. Louis.
Let's go ahead and get into it. Turts, what you feeling?
He is feeling out of Army. Quarterback Justin Duke.
As expected, one of those quarterbacks was being taken. They was talking in the boardroom which one they want to lean towards. JD making it happen, and he is going to join in on St. Louis's quest to be great again, because they are one of the 4 teams that have won a championship in the league. They're trying to get back to form, and having a quarterback to do it, that's definitely a great start. Haven't seen a great one since Rebecca Montaigne donned the colors in St. Louis, so it's going to be fun to see how he can replicate that.
For sure. And we do now have Pittsburgh coming up on the clock here for 2 picks. But yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Last great quarterback that came through St. Louis was Rebecca Montaigne, and it wasn't a very long stint.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to be interesting to see how he lives up to that hype in the future. And I'm going to have to go quiet here for a little bit as my headset is ringing.
I felt that. It's all good. We right here as we wait for that white guy to make his first of 2 picks. I believe this is one of the few times where we had back-to-back, 2 back-to-back. in the draft. So very interesting to see what Pittsburgh does. They were listed as a team that was around the middle of the pack coming into this season. They fell short of the playoffs for what I believe is the 5th straight season. And they're trying to get over that hump. They always got to the edge of the cliff, couldn't quite get past it. So going to be interesting to see what they do here. What exactly do they need? I think wide receiver is not one of those things. They have one of the more stout wide receiver cores led by Ronnie Shanahan Jr. and Guy Clausen. Money Mills, definitely a great quarterback. He's getting better. Halfback, honestly, they could go a little bit later for that if that's what they wanted to do. But I think they need more defense availability here. And that's probably what I should have did too. Thanks for bringing up Dubby right there. I could have put that in the graphic here. But it's all good. We're going to make it work. But going to be interesting to see what they can pick. Cornerback, they could go on the cornerback side of things, get some help opposite side of Big House the third. They can also try to work on their secondary, get some help right beside Angel Flugel, a.k.a. Angel Flute Cake, Zesty Breezy. Breezy equals sauce right there. There's a lot of clamor in the chat. 31 people up in here. Shout out to the big homies again.
Shit like that, shit like that, shit like that, shit like that, shit like that.
Hold on 1 second. See if I can take my mic out real quick.
Oh boy.
Interesting sight to see. Final 2 minutes here. Waiting on that white guy to make his first pick. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Again, wherever Blake Grant goes, that defense is automatically getting better. And he is one of those top dogs here. As you see right there, Blake Grant at outside linebacker. I believe you got to make him a junior or something, or the second or something, since you have your wide receiver. But outside of that, great job there. We'll see what they pick as we got the final 90 seconds, 80 seconds. Taking this sweet time, sweet time. They could go defensive tackle. Ted Stern right there. Looking pretty nice, I must say. Nothing happening quite yet. But we still got 45 seconds of, you can make him a junior since my wide receiver is named the same, most definitely. So when you make your player, you just make him Blake Grant Jr. or Blake Grant II, however you want to do it. And we'll keep it moving from there. Seems like every team needs D linemen. Yeah, the D lineman movement is kind of new. Within the USFA, it's still, going into our 5th season of having them. So all the other positions obviously have been used, but I think a lot of teams could use some better D-line play, and this looks like a very heavy D-line draft, so definitely a good help there for people that need it, as the timer is all the way down here, and we shall see who Pittsburgh is picking up.
Well, there's a little bit of chatter going on in my
That means Pittsburgh forfeits their pick. I'm just kidding.
No. They got something in. I'm just trying to figure out who it is.
Okay. So their pick is technically in. You just give me the good to go. Am I really a top 3 prospect according to the board? Am I reading that right? That is definitely true. As per the amount of career coin, because that is uh, that top row right there, or column, I should say. Well, it is a row. Yeah, the row from left to right. So column is up to down. So yeah, and that side is based off of TPE first, and then the coin, and that is how we're able to determine who are the top earners in the ECFL coming into it. Damn, so I should have spent more. Yep, probably.
I am still trying to find clarification on who this might be.
I felt that.
Uh,
Oh yeah, I should be clicking on them more, like so you can see where I'm at, like this. But honestly, just like we were saying earlier, Pittsburgh could really go anywhere on this side.
mhm.
Chance Ravager would be a solid pick at corner. Uh, if they want to match Kaiju, if they want to match Kaiju and the big homie Mike Hawk, give them a little old school football, like their name kind of suggests. They could go that way as well.
All right, we have a trade.
Oh.
That has been what the uh, holdup has been. There was a temporary placement pick if this deal couldn't get done quick enough, but they got it done quick enough, so.
Whenever I get it, I'll get it up.
And I'm going to send this over to you here in just a sec.
I like it. Got ourselves a pretty long stream tonight, so bring your popcorn, like I say. Tomorrow should be a little bit quicker because the picks go quicker, but these are top picks, man. You got to show some love.
And you gotta love all the trades that are gonna happen. And there you are, sent it over to you there, Stacks.
Trade is coming up. Blah, blah, blah. Fit the screen. Do. And the trade is up.
Alright, so we have the on-the-clock pick heading over to Huntington Beach alongside a Season 13 and a Season 14 second in exchange for strong safety Preston Dotson and a Huntington Beach Season 12 third. So that will put Huntington Beach up on the clock.
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. But Preston is the top of the game at his business at the strong safety position. And Pittsburgh, they're leaning towards a much more ease at stopping the opponents getting down the field. I don't blame them, but Huntington Beach, they're coming for blood already, getting back into the draft as per the 5th overall draft pick. And what direction do they go after losing the United Bowl? And looking at the team needs right there, you could say halfback, tight end, D lineman, and defensive back. I would say if there was to be a cornerback, maybe a replacement for X Pac, who's getting up on age, maybe. maybe. Safety, honestly, they're pretty good at safety, even though now they could go straight that way after letting Preston go. And as per safety, it looks like the best strong safety available would be Zumi Anderson right here. And then there's also Casey Bronco the second here. Could do a few other things as well. Depends on what they want to flip. Huntington Beach have tight end Jeff Brown. They do. They are at he's at the number 3 or number 2 spot. I'm sorry. So he's backing up Erica Slam Duncan. As we will wait for the pick here for HBV. 2 out of 3 for the last 3 United Bowls. They made it the last 3 seasons. They won 2 of them. Honestly, one of the best constructed teams we've ever seen. Surprising to see that they got up. Well, would you call it an upset? I don't know. But
that's tough to say. I'm looking forward to seeing them again.
Interesting to see.
All right. Well, Huntington Beach knew who they wanted, and they have gone ahead and picked them.
And they went ahead and picked them. Who you got? HBV.
We have out of Texas Tech, cornerback Jason Breeze Jr.
Going with Mr. Darksider. And he is outside of the 750 club. I expected it to happen one of these days, but DC 25, he's been in the Sim League business for a good while. And I can't wait to see what he does here for the Voyagers. So congrats again. And I just let you know right now, he's going to a heck of a team.
Yeah, that's quite a pickup there for the Voyagers, and I mean that was a big trade. Honestly, what are your thoughts there on that trade as Pittsburgh comes back up on the clock here?
It's going to be interesting to see how Preston fits in with the Pittsburgh style of defense. It's great to know that he will have a strong running mate at free safety, and honestly, that's a really good safety duo there for Pittsburgh. They kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. They got a veteran, even though he is getting up there in age, is Preston and Angel Fugel, if you want to be honest with you. But there are definitely a lot of veterans that's available here for Pittsburgh. Help piece in together outside of the draft. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They got some more leverage for the future. And as far as Huntington Beach goes, I mean, the rich get richer. I say it every single time they get a draft. It seems like every draft pick makes them a much more viable pick to win it all again.
Absolutely. I mean they've been able to do no wrong, and we have Pittsburgh's pick in.
Well, it's already up then. Who you got? That white guy.
We have out of Appalachian State, defensive end Rhino Dobbins.
Mr. Dobmeister. And they got a really good set on the defensive tackle side of things with Pittsburgh. So I do like they're focusing on that defensive front. Let me see if I can find them. There you go. I've got the wrong color there, but I'll change that. But great setup. They have Darnell Pope and the big homie Jerry Philbin there in the inside. Give them some pressure to help collapse that pocket. Pittsburgh's trying to take the offenses down one play at a time. So I love to see it.
And we have the Tacoma Eruption back up on the clock here.
Tacoma is back again. And just to review, they already have a pick out already with Coco Raccoon. They could stay in the linebacker side of things. Me personally, they could try to find a player outside of King Maximus if they want to go with a defensive end. That's one thing that they can do. Definitely a lot of things that can really set them up for success. As I'm gonna see if I can change something up real quick on the drop down. Can I do that? Yeah, there you go. See if I can get a better color there for Pitt. There you go. Just apply to all. Thank you. And like I said, they have a lot of availability with this Tacoma team. They have a lot of holes.
I'm getting DM'd about someone trying to pick up the Tacoma ownership in the middle of the draft.
Interesting.
Um,
Anything can happen in the United Sim Football Association entry draft. What's up, Turts? I see you in the chat. What's happening? See my boy Wolf Gold, aka Sean Juice Justice, Slater C. He waiting to get picked up. Who else up in here? Al Drezzy, my boy Al Drezzy, number 16. Therefore, New York Mafia. Ryan Davis, he chilling. He got his guy. Preston says to his former coach, it's been a pleasure working with you. Apologies for not getting you another ring. That's what he said, not me. Pittsburgh's going to be a very interesting team now. Also have to see what they do in free agency. So the job's not done at the draft. There's still so many other things that could be done to improve on your team.
all right. Well, we do have the pick in here from Tacoma.
Well, the clip is rolling. What you got?
We have, out of Northwestern, middle linebacker Brian Eshelman.
Brian Eshelman. So Tacoma's doubling up on the middle linebacker side of things. I can't be mad at it because defense is one of those things that Tacoma severely lacked for at least the last 4 or 5 seasons. My personal opinion, they haven't really had that stout defensive front all the way through, especially in the front seven side of things. So if you can improve on that, Coco Raccoon and Brian Eshelman is going to be headlining a very strong linebacker core going forward. I love to see it. And who will be next on the clock? If I was to follow the stat here, I could kind of figure that out myself. After Tacoma, it will be, looks like it's going to be New York. So I'll go ahead and roll with that until something is said different as we go ahead and move into the Aaron Ike era of the New York Mafia. And there's a lot of things they could do as well. Quarterback, they're pretty much set, all good to go. Aaron Ike is that guy. I love me some Aaron Ike. Halfback, if you want to spell Rashad Watson, give him another back to take some of the pressure off of him, that's fine, but that could probably get taken later. Wide receiver, they're pretty much set. Tight end, if there is a viable tight end up top, there is a Donnell Sullivan available, aka K-Town Chaos. Shout out to Portland in the GSB doing his thing. Defense, honestly, they could go either way. Safety would be my opinion. If there was to pick something like a free safety, strong safety, linebackers are getting old in age. They can definitely go middle or outside, however they want to go. And now we just got to see what they do.
All right. Well, we do have the pick in here from New York. They did not take a whole lot of time as this development on the Tacoma ownership has fizzled out, it appears, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, New York is up. Who you got?
We have out of Wake Forest, cornerback Chance Ravenger, Slater C.
Oh, Slater C is going to New York. Don your atomic gun and make some stuff happen. Can't wait to see how he does up in the new business. Congratulations. Say to see in the chat. He says he's the godfather now. He says he's ready to make some plays here, get New York back in business. Just shy of the playoffs this past season after a crazy, crazy setup to get back into the playoff race. They were at one win at one point around the midway point of the season, and all of a sudden they're right here, one game away. So they're definitely looking to get back up there. And who is after New York?
That is going to be Detroit.
The first official draft pick for the Detroit Hellhounds. So definitely a interesting set here. They made the playoffs, obviously, and they missed the chance to go to the United Bowl. They lost out to Huntington Beach after a very, very hard-fought battle. And in regards to their team, they could go a good amount of different ways. If they wanted to get another halfback, they could. To match up with Tamari Jones, they could go wide receiver. Maybe Sean McGowan is their guy in the future. Maybe not. Along with Uncle Swoosh, they could get a viable number 3 in that setup. What Arizona relocated to Detroit? Yes, they did. If you've seen the United Bowl, you would have known what would have happened to Arizona. So, yes, Arizona Rattlers are no longer in the league. They are one of our legacy teams. So, we are moving to Detroit for this one. And they have a full, well, I'll say 4 minutes. I forgot to click the timer on. But defense, they could go defense, maybe defensive tackle to help out with Thomas and Damian Chambers. Linebacker, you can never go wrong. Linebacker, maybe some safety help. Honestly, every team could use defensive help outside of maybe 2 or 3. So, yeah, can't wait to see what Kyle Wu and Samurai Jacker got cooking. And we'll see what happens pretty soon.
All right. Well, I'm going to give them a little bit of time here to think on this. Run me through these last handful of picks. Give me your thoughts on them. And how is this draft shaping up for you so far?
It's going fairly similar to what I was thinking. I've been doing the predictions up to this point, and most of them have been on point. I like the New Jersey pick there for Dolph Hustle. He's definitely going to help elevate the offense. I think that was one of their big issues as well. New York with Chance Ravager, that was definitely a solid pick. They needed some cornerback help for sure. Of course, St. Louis up top there with the quarterback. They needed a guy, and they got a guy on the opposite side named Austin Grant that can take some heads off. I've seen him in college. He's pretty good at what he does. I'm loving the 2 picks here for Tacoma. I think that stands out the most. Coco and Brian, they're on the same side of the field. They could make some serious things happen. And then, of course, Reno Dobbins, he's going to help out with this defensive line play. They already have 2 big studs with Philbin and Pope. So getting 3 out of the 4 pieces of the puzzle taken care of, that's only going to make your team better. And then, of course, you got Jason Breeze Jr. there for Huntington Beach after the trade. So definitely going to help out with that secondary, a lot of different options that Huntington Beach could run that defense from.
For sure. All right. Well, we do have the pick in here from Detroit.
Let's go ahead and get into it. Kyle Wu, Samurai Jacker, what you got?
We have, out of Army, we have corner Justin Brown.
Justin Brown going from Army to Detroit, making that quick setup right there. And we was talking about the corner, the secondary position there for Detroit. It could be a little bit better. They were giving up some big plays here and there to some of the higher quality teams, and I think they took note of that. And that's definitely a great job there. Justin Brown on the opposite side of the big homie Samurai Jacker, aka Mikey Jackson. Going to be a fun ride there watching the secondary fly.
For sure. Now we get Pittsburgh up on the clock here.
Pittsburgh back on to the field and see what they got. They already have Rhino Dobbins or Reno. I don't know if he says Rhino because it does have H in there, but shout out to my boy Dobby doing his thing as we go ahead and scroll down. As you see the black line like right here, that is the pretty much the tier list that I kind of made there. So if you see me scrolling, if you're a little bit further down, that means you didn't do enough to upgrade in the UCFL. That's pretty much what that means. So, but that don't mean you won't be a star if you're upgrading and if you're staying great. You can make plays. We seen one guy from Detroit named DeJon James. I believe he's pretty low in TPE, and he had like 3 or 4 interceptions or something like that. So as long as you upgrade and as long as you're getting better, you can still make plays. And in regards to Pittsburgh, honestly, there's a few more directions they can go still. They can keep it on the defensive end if they really want to, or they could go with a tight end. Yeah, honestly, they could go a few different ways. Maybe another cornerback is available. I do see Krishan Cresswell along with Bill Whitman. So definitely some great guys that they could pick up, or they could get another defensive end to go on the opposite side of their new guy Reno Dobbins. So they could go a lot of different directions. Yeah, put that in the check. Directions. Shout out to everybody in the chat again. If you liking the draft so far, let me get a yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have the pick in here from Pittsburgh.
The pick is in for Pittsburgh. Okay, let's go ahead and see what you got.
We have out of Army, outside linebacker Blake Grant.
Interesting said it all comes full circle, right? It all comes full circle. Blake Grant is going back to his former home with his wide receiver, but this time it's going to be his linebacker, and he's going to take the trip right back to Pittsburgh there. Interesting set. What are your thoughts on the pick there?
I mean, I think it's interesting. Traded for Preston Dotson, the strong safety, just picked up Blake Grant, the outside linebacker, and with their other pick, they picked up a DN. So a lot of defense going in this first round to Pittsburgh. A lot of defense in general going in the first round here. Really shows where the priorities for teams lie right now.
Who's next?
We have the Anchorage Snow Devils, the hosts.
First pick there for the boys and Icy Blue. Anchorage coming onto the field, and honestly, this would be a great chance to get something on defense, a playmaker on defense that can lead them the way. If they was to go wide receiver, they could as well. Jamar Carr and Mookie Rising still on the board, surprisingly. And Ty White is here for her first check-in, and I did not switch that, so I should probably change that name to put the official team on. I'll go ahead and do that now. And that is also not right. Do you remember their record? I think they were 6-8. Or 5-7. They were 5-7.
5-7, yeah.
And they missed the playoffs. There you go. Much better. In regards to team needs, though, similar to a majority of the league, defense, anywhere defense can help give another able body outside of Justice and Simmons at the wide receiver core. That'll definitely help. Halfback, that's definitely another option there. Take some pressure off of Dane White. We seen him pick up Quinn James last season. He did. I'll give him a solid C grade. Honestly, could have been better, but he can improve as well, along with another halfback go with a 2 halfback set. I mean, there's a lot of things that Ty White can do, and be interested to see what their first set will be. Ty is a lady. Yeah, don't disrespect Ty. Okay. Clamor in the chat. Got a lot of people up in here. Can we get a hype train started or what?
We do have a lot of people up in here, absolutely. If there was a time to get a hype train going, this would be it.
Wide receiver 6 incoming. That's tough.
And Ty may be AFK at the moment.
Okay. I gotta take this quick call real quick.
Which means I guess I'm going to be carrying the conversation to you guys. So, yeah, we'll see how that works. Wolf, I don't believe you are a part of the team staff. I have not heard anything from Ty to say that you are a part of team staff, so I'm going to say no. This is for the team staff. If you were, then not a big deal. But I do believe I know what she wants. So if push come to shove, I will take the pick for her. As we are running out of time here on this particular set of clock. Which means I am pretty certain that she would end up taking this individual right here. Welcome back. It looks like Ty might be AFK. However, I do remember overhearing her draft plans a little bit. Let me just see if I can scroll back and make an educated guess on. Yeah, that's probably that's the only thing I can identify as something she has said that she needs. So that is what she will be drafting.
So the pick is in.
The pick is in.
Pick is indeed in.
And it will be out of North Dakota State, quarterback Smoke Rivers.
Interesting set. So the Dane Jones era is over in Anchorage. And the NDSU signal caller will be making his set here in Anchorage. Interesting. And looking at the chat, they liking what they see for the most part.
For sure, and this is something that I do remember. I looked through the Anchorage locker room. This is something that was said was needed, so I don't feel too bad about making that pick. Hopefully, Ty can come back for her remaining picks.
Well, those are the top two quarterbacks off the board here, midway in the first. And who will be next on the board?
It is going to be the reigning champions, the Toronto Wraiths.
Looking to double back and get back there. We already seen Toronto HQ up in the chat, so interesting to see where they go with this one. And in regards to what they need, I mean, honestly, defense is the least of their worries, my personal opinion. If they was to go wide receiver, that would make sense. I believe they did say that Kevin Lee, even though he had a great setup here in Toronto, getting another ring, I believe a good replacement for him will be solid. Mookie Rising is right there, along with Jamar Carr. Those are the top two backs from what I'm currently seeing. Going to be interesting to see how Tom Riddell and the gang go.
Well, we don't have to wait too terribly long, as the pick is in from Krim and Co.
So go ahead and call it.
Well, it is, despite what you said, out of North Dakota State, they have selected outside linebacker Bum Butler. Bam Butler.
Bam Butler, yeah, there you go. Mr. Money Mills himself back at it with his defensive player, his quarterback, playing for Pittsburgh, and he's looking to do it again on this side. He's going to go to the reigning champs because they didn't defend it yet, but looking to do some big things here. The defense gets deeper here in Toronto. How you feel about that?
You just said they don't need defense, and all of a sudden they grabbed defense. So, kind of an interesting take, but Krim loves his defensive players. So, honestly, not too terribly surprising as we head into the top of the second here with the St. Louis Archers.
St. Louis, and just an interesting note there. They do have one linebacker named Dexter Hall who's getting up there in age. So maybe this is their security pick for the future, leading up with big homie Yogi Barr. So maybe that's probably what he's thinking. But overall, a great pick there as we go ahead and see what happens with Turts and the gang back onto the fold. And after getting your quarterback, there's still plenty of wide receivers and weapons available on offense. Defense is still up for grabs. My personal opinion, I say get your quarterback a number one guy to throw to.
And we are going to wait here on Turts.
And Tom Riddell welcoming his new linebacker onto the fold. Going to a championship winning team right there. Going to be fun to watch him play. And you already know how we do. We're going to get these players up into the game after the draft is over. So going to be fun. Make sure you make your players in the creation form. That way I know exactly how to make them or her. Do we have any women in this draft?
Possibly.
Yeah, I want to go through the names. See. None so far. I don't see any just off the quick scan. Back-to-back NDSU picks, most definitely. So right now,
maybe not.
Go ahead.
Maybe not. Maybe no females in this particular draft.
Yeah. Where the ladies at?
All right. Well, we are still holding on here for Hertz. The clock does go down to 3 minutes for the second round. Dax.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just start at this point here then. Because
Yep.
at 3 minutes, so. Or just stop it and take it down to 3. Screw it. Get right that. St. Louis needs some weapons, needs some defenders, needs some heavy hitters, a little bit of everything.
And only 3 offensive players taken in the first round. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I get it. I mean, it's an offense heavy league, so if you know how to stop the other team, especially how we seen how that United Bowl went, Huntington Beach was able to move the ball down the field fairly easily, in my personal opinion, against Toronto. And when it came to the point where it mattered, when it got to that red zone, interception here, interception there. They got to the 35-yard line, another interception in the red zone. So, I mean, in the end zone. So, just interesting to see how the teams are thinking going into the future of the league. Defense is definitely one of those major things to factor in when it comes to drafting and team building. Because if you can't stop the other team, it's just going to be shootouts all game long. And if you mess up 1 or 2 times, that could be the difference between getting the W and the L.
Absolutely. So it's interesting to see all the defense running here. Eventually, you got to think that maybe some of these offensive players, no wide receivers taken in the first round, and there's a lot of 750 wide receivers in there.
That's only going to make it easier for the rest of the crew to take them when it gets to their pick. So at this point, you know, wide receiver is definitely one of those positions that is kind of dependent on its quarterback. But looking at defense, as long as you play your role, whether that's at the D-line side or even at the safety position, maybe even a linebacker, you kind of make your own mark. So maybe this is kind of the shift that the USFA is starting to take.
Perhaps, and I'm interested to see how that shift translates into the next season.
Can't wait to make these graphics for sure for all of our first round guys, because we're going to go ahead and get set up. 40 seconds left on the clock there for Turts and the gang.
And there it is. The pick is in from St. Louis.
Well, St. Louis is in. What you got?
We have, out of Army, wide receiver Mookie Rising heading over to the Arch City.
Most definitely. And I did say give your quarterback a weapon, and Turts being Turts, I knew he was going to make one of these upcoming picks, a wide receiver. Definitely a great job there. He was classified as the top dog at wide receiver as per the career coin, and having the top career coin quarterback as well. That does sound very nice there for St. Louis fans. Get your team some ability to move the ball down the field a lot easier. And who is next on the clock?
Well, we have the Toronto Wraiths via New Jersey coming up here.
Okay, and I got to make one more quick call as you go ahead and talk them down a little bit.
Absolutely. So we have, I don't know, Toronto here. Krim likes to make sure his guys are subbed before. So my guess is he goes with someone that has a sub, perhaps existing sub, which, you know, we've got a couple of those guys here in here. Or he might surprise me and have found someone in the defensive side that I'm not aware of. Because, you know, the man just loves his defense. I don't think he's spent a pick on anything but defense outside of his quarterback. So interesting to see where he goes here, what he decides to do, as I'm kind of just stalling for time for Stacks to get back because the pick is in. But I can't do any of the fancy stuff on the screen for you guys. I am just the voice that you all get to boo when the picks come out. And thank you there for the subscription, Amvery, and thank you for the biddies, Mr. Maximus. Appreciate it. Hey, guys, while we are waiting for Stacks to get back, perhaps, if you guys are interested in starting a hype train, if you are, Stacks would love it. And then I can tell him I did that, not him, because you guys love me. So whenever Stacks gets back, I will announce this pick. A little bit of a pause until then. But how are you guys doing tonight? Are you ready for the rest of this second round? We are just barely one pick into this second round. Let me know how you're feeling over there. Sitting at 25 viewers. You love to see it. Welcome back. The pick has been in for some time. I have been stalling for you. Well, I haven't announced it yet, but yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get over for Toronto. Who you got?
We have, out of Boston College, wide receiver Juice Chill, or Just Chill. Not sure how you pronounce that.
Let's see if I can find it. Where are you? Oh, Just Chill. Yeah, Just Chill. Right
Yeah,
there.
Just Chill, wide receiver. And that will bring Anchorage up onto the clock. And Stacks, let me know what you think about this pick.
Who's next?
Anchorage.
Anchorage. Okay. Did they pick already?
No.
Oh.
I just asked you to tell me what you thought about this last pick.
Oh, I'm kind of confused. And I'm working to do other things too. But in regards to that, I did mention earlier with Kevin Lee being essentially that guy to fill in a role. He filled it almost perfectly. But they're going to need to move on, obviously. And having a guy like Just Chill in that wide receiver core, going to be a fun ride for sure. B-Jack, I believe he's already on the team, if I can recall, with this cornerback. So him falling all the way back to the team, doubling up, you can't be mad at that.
All right. Well, we do have a trade to announce here, as the on-the-clock pick is being traded.
All righty, let me go ahead and get it up then. Go ahead and get that rolling for you. And
welcome. Thank you, Mike Jack, for the gifted sub and starting up the hype train. I know I did that because you weren't here when I asked for it.
Shit like that. Shit like
I asked
that.
for it earlier and they didn't do nothing. Y'all must like him better. But good job.
All right, so we get the 15th overall pick heading over to Detroit, and Anchorage will be jumping down to 20th and picking up the 47th overall pick in the draft later. I think that'll be tomorrow. So that'll put the Detroit up on the clock here. Detroit Hellhounds, you are live.
Most definitely. And just to review what they got in the last pick, they have Justin Brown at cornerback. They must have seen someone really good if they wanted to trade up to get somebody. So, like I said before, they could probably use defensive tackle help, which honestly we haven't seen too many D linemen picked up yet. But they can honestly go on the wide receiver side of things as well. They could go with maybe safety if they wanted to get the final linebacker in their core, even though I think they have a really good one, they could go that route. I mean, so many things they could really do overall in this team.
Oh, and you know what? I've just realized the 20th overall pick, because that's actually St. Louis's pick, we need to announce this trade as well.
We need to announce this trade as well. Well, go ahead and hit me with it.
Cal keeping the train alive there with another gifted sub. Thank you very much, Cal. Appreciate it a lot, lads. Let's keep this thing going throughout the rest of the night, actually, if we can.
Yes, and trade is up.
All right. So, in order for Detroit to have traded that 20th overall pick, they will be receiving 19th and 20th from St. Louis in exchange for 21st, 45th, and a season 12 second from Detroit. And then, of course, that 20th overall pick heading to Anchorage in the previous trade.
Most definitely. So shout out to the big homies there, as we still wait on the pick here for Detroit. Still have another minute or so. And what are your thoughts on where they go?
I think there's. I think they could go a lot of different places, but probably defense is, I think, where they're going to stick. Keep trying to build up that defense, get a little bit more competitive in that, really top-heavy Western Conference. And the pick is in here from Detroit.
Let's go ahead and do it. How you feeling, Motor City?
They are feeling like taking a trip up to Northwestern for defensive end Michael Rory.
Michael Rory. Get some more action there on that D lineman. Can't be mad at it. Michael Rory could play outside and inside. So a lot of flexibility there for the young defensive end. Can't wait to see how it factors into a very, very stout defensive front here for Detroit in their first season. And who will be next?
We have Dallas up on the clock here next.
Is this their first pick?
I believe this is their first pick, yes.
Rob J.G. And this is definitely a interesting pick for sure. Honestly, the top two quarterbacks are gone. So, honestly, if they wanted to go with another one, it'll have to more than likely be in a later pick. Oscar Aden's still available. But I think if there was to pick anything, it'll probably also be on the defensive end. It could be a tight end that can help move the ball down the field a little bit more there for Church. Give them some more weapons. Can't be mad at it. Don't think halfback would be in their realm because they already have Dominic McKenzie. But yeah, anything defense honestly can take them to the next level. Maybe another defensive end that is active could help them out.
Yeah, a lot of different places here, but I am getting something into my earpiece, so I'm going to have to be quiet here for just a little bit as I take care of this.
Well, take care of it then. And I'm going to be here as I'm doing some orders of food. Who wants some chicken wings? I'll order some chicken wings for people. What is your favorite chicken wing spot? Put it in the chat. And get that hype train up. We are at level 2, so shout out to the big homies.
Shit like that.
Buffalo Wild Wings, is that what it is? So I'll take some drummies. Okay, I got you. Wingstop, old reliable. Yeah, I had some Wingstop yesterday. At the 10-piece, half mild, half lemon pepper. Had the Parmesan fries. You know what I'm saying? And I had the strawberry Sprites because I'm fancy. As we're gonna get another boost of that hype train. I see you, boy. I see you. Good job, First Fray, on that. Keep it moving. We still gotta keep it moving.
This is a certified hood classic.
As we have the final 50 seconds here for this pick, waiting on Caboose to give me the signal.
Well, you're gonna want to swap that over to Trade Alert as we have a massive trade here going through.
Massive trade.
This is a certified hood classic.
Shit like that.
Okay, what you got?
Oh, I'm sending it to you.
Well, you'll send it to me. What are you waiting?
I'm making the graphic.
We'll make it. That gives us some time to do some other things too. But interesting. Dallas is moving away from their first pick. and see what they do here. Huh. Okay. Go ahead and switch it over. And looks like we are back on the mix and the trade is up.
All right, so St. Louis is going to be receiving the on-the-clock pick, the 23rd overall pick, a Season 12 first from Dallas, and a Season 12 second in exchange for the draft rights to quarterback Justin Duke.
Huge trade. So St. Louis went away from the quarterback. And I'm thinking I kind of know where St. Louis is going with this. If I was to peek into the future, I'm not going to say it live, but I think me and Turt's kind of thinking the same thing on what he's going to be doing next. But interesting trade for sure. Does this mark the end of the DJ Church era? Interesting. And St. Louis on the clock.
Oh,
Right?
sorry. No. It's 18th overall pick is up in 2.
Say again?
So it is still Dallas on the clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought 18 was up right now. It is 16th up right now.
Duke already got traded. Didn't he just get drafted? That is indeed the case. As we hit level 3 up in here.
Shit like that.
Pick it up.
All right, and now the pick is in from the Dallas Dragons.
The pick is in. Where is going? Who's going to Dallas?
Well, obviously, quarterback Justin Duke, because we're going to have to come back to that here in a little bit. But out of Wake Forest, we have middle linebacker Cody Lawrence heading over to the Big D.
Cody Lawrence right there. So kind of out of that 750 range right there. He sits at 652, but definitely a big body linebacker, heavy hitter. Can't be mad at it. I love to see it, and I can't wait to see what he does in the big leagues here for St. Louis. They need a lot of talent everywhere and anywhere. So getting that quarterback for your defense is not a bad thing to do. Great job.
And we have Charlotte up on the clock here for the first time tonight.
Charlotte Royals always seem to be just a couple steps behind the top of the pack. They lost the 2 United Bowls before this past one. They lost to Huntington Beach, and then they ended up losing to the eventual champions in Toronto in the conference championship game.
My DMs are popping right now. So Charlotte, I am drafting for Charlotte in the current absence of John. He had, for those who don't know, he was hacked and lost everything. So he is still working on getting his new Discord set up from last I heard. So I will be drafting in his stead. This is a team I'm pretty familiar with, though, so not too big of a problem, as I know exactly who they're going to take.
And there's a lot of different directions they can go as well. Doc Boone is a great halfback, as is Vic Dotson there for the tight end position. So those are 2 positions they don't really got to worry about too much. Quarterback, they're pretty set with Hank Falco. Wide receivers, they addressed that last season. If they wanted to go for a solid 3rd or 4th wide receiver, they could. But I think something on defense would be that setup for them, my personal opinion.
All right, well, we do have the pick in here from Charlotte. Not going to take too long because I do know their roster a little bit better than Tacoma's.
Well, the pick is up. Let's do it.
So we have out of Appalachian State, strong safety Zumi Anderson heading to Charlotte.
First safety off the board here tonight. and is going to a team that needs secondary help. They've similar to Arizona on the other side. Arizona, formerly Arizona, aka Detroit, a safety help. Something that they desperately needed. There's a lot of fast wide receivers here in the game, and you want to make sure that you got a cheetah there on your side. That's the username, the Discord there for Zumi. So congrats there to Charlotte and Zumi Anderson. Can't wait to see him in the purple, gold, and light blue.
Purple Fizz, we get St. Louis up on the clock after that trade.
After the trade, back onto it again. Up to this point, St. Louis got rid of the rights there for Justin Duke, so I'll go ahead and flip that to Dallas. And up to this point, they have Mookie Rising and my boy Cody Lawrence. So can't wait to see what they do with this next pick, along with Austin Grant. Do not forget to put him in the mix. So where they go from here? Me personally, I don't think one of the quarterbacks is at the very least exceeding the level of Jim Carr. So I would think the rest of the team is going to be the focus here. And honestly, they could go a lot of different ways. They could go corner. They can go linebacker still. If they want to add on to that cord, if they want to go defensive line for the first time, they could do that too. So a lot of things that can happen. Got the hype train up in here. I see you.
For sure, and hype train has been finished, got up to a level 3, so thank you guys very much for that.
Do it again.
Don't do it for him, do it for me.
Yeah, you didn't do it for me when I asked. So ask him again, Caboose.
Exactly. Maybe tomorrow.
Who was St. Louis quarterback last season? That'll be Jim Carr. Is St. Louis picking?
St. Louis is on the clock, so
okay.
He has been tagged.
Okay. Got another 55 seconds left here. Let's see what they can do.
And we have the pick in from St. Louis.
Well, let's go ahead and do it. Pick number 5, technically, but their 4th player coming. So who do they got?
They are going to go out of Rutgers. Quarterback, Oscar Oden.
Okay, so they did take the quarterback, so maybe Jim Carr is not in their plans. They're going to go with Mr. T. Harris coming through in the mix, and he'll be essentially the new face there. And T. Harris has been in the sim leagues for quite some time. Can't wait to see what he can do in St. Louis. Congratulations again to T.
Absolutely, and now we bring it over back to Detroit. As basically these two teams are going back and forth throughout the second round here.
Okay, well, Detroit, just to do a quick review, they have Justin Brown and they have Michael Rory. So definitely a lot of great things there. El Jefe the GOAT still here. But I don't think Detroit necessarily needs more D linemen. Unless they really want to just stack the odds, they could find a way. But in my opinion, they could go a lot of different directions. Maybe another CB or a DB would be
possibly, yeah. Right. Still a few minutes here left for Detroit on the clock. Still not a lot of receivers being taken off the board. So there's still some chances here for some people to get their, get the players that they want in terms of the wide receiver game. So.
Oh, Mike Jack said no one heard me when I asked. So I think I was probably on mute still. That's probably what it was. My apologies.
That or no one cared to listen.
I mean, that happens a lot, unfortunately. So, yeah, I get it.
Hey, I'm just saying, when I ask, I get the things I want.
Well, I ain't trying to hear that. Y'all getting a hype train going.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to beat Stacks over the head with this. As we have the pick in here from Detroit.
Detroit is in. Let's go ahead and get into it.
We have out of the University of Central Florida, defensive tackle Styles Stern.
Styles Stern. Let's see if I can find them real quick. Do. There you go. Right there with another 750 right there. Couldn't quite see it because my screen is kind of cut off on my side, but we'll make it work. It's all good to go. Great job. Another defensive lineman, but they go inside. I did say that they might need some more interior help, so that's definitely a great job there for sure. Mr. Ted Stern making it happen. And I believe, is it the same as Slug Stern that we already drafted?
Slugs? I have no idea at the moment.
I believe he plays for Tampa. Oh, it's not the same? Okay, it's another one. Okay, gotcha. Okay, but congratulations to Ted Stern coming to the league.
For sure. And so now that brings up Anchorage up on the clock here.
Anchorage. No word from Ty White yet?
Nope. So I am going to assume probably still AFK, unable to make it today, so I will probably start looking in their direction for someone real quick.
Mm-hmm. In regards to what they can use, honestly, they could do a little bit of anything here. Like I said before, I'd say defense. That'll probably be the best bet. Make sure they're good to go. Roy, what did I miss? I had to step off for a second. You got drafted by Detroit, so congratulations. The Detroit Hellhounds will be... Oh, you seen that? Okay, not much else happened. Had one. I don't know when exactly you left, but there was a trade.
You missed a pretty big trade, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after that, so Justin Duke was drafted by St. Louis, but they traded his draft rights to Dallas. And before then, St. Louis and Detroit, they're kind of like going back and forth on picks at the current moment. But now we're at Anchorage. So the top guy, the crazy enough, the highest earning career coin player in the ECFL gets traded. That's pretty crazy right there, but we still got to keep it moving here as Anchorage has another minute and some change here.
You said defense? You think you'd go defense?
I mean, yeah. I mean, defense wouldn't hurt. Wide receiver. Yeah, wide receiver, they're pretty good. Halfback, I mean, they could do halfback. They can do tight end. They're pretty solid. I like Keenan Kurt there. And then defensive line, linebacker, they could use some work. Maybe outside linebacker. And then, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see what I can find. Oh, I found something. All right. Well, the pick is in here for Anchorage.
Let's go ahead and do it. Them cold boys.
And that is going to be defensive end El Jefe the Goat from North Dakota State.
NDSU action. El Jefe, Coach 16, his offensive player currently with Huntington Beach, so both of his players will be on the west side of things. And definitely a solid pickup there for sure. Nothing wrong with pass rush. Lean on the trenches. Got to make sure that you're getting towards the quarterback. Makes your offense's chances to score a lot easier. So can't be mad at that. Congratulations to El Jefe, the GOAT.
That brings St. Louis up on the clock here. They already have their pick in.
They already have their pick in, making it easier for us. Let's go ahead and get into it. What you got?
We have out of the University Louisiana Lafayette, corner Krishan Cresswell.
J Mel 1125 doing his thing. And I did say that they need a lot of pieces. St. Louis checking all the boxes so far. They got a linebacker, they got a corner here, they got actually got two linebackers. Let me take that back. They got their quarterback. I say probably work on the D line a little bit more, help out with Mr. Braden and Franklin McKinnon. And I think they have themselves a solid draft caboose.
Absolutely. And I think as we bring up Charlotte for their next pick here, and I think that there's, St. Louis is having a pretty solid draft. The trade for trading their quarterback, the rights to him, is a little bit of a head scratcher, but you know what? It gets them in a couple extra picks, and they're making the most of them right now.
Going to be interesting to see for sure. And with Charlotte, they're still in a solid place as a whole for a team. The last pick, obviously, a strong safety. If they'd like, they could double back with a linebacker, stay on the defensive side of things. I think that's where majority of the holes are, in my opinion. But definitely interesting to see what they do from here.
You said D lineman.
Linebacker, what did the D line look like?
I will say, ever since they
D lineman could work, yeah. D lineman could work.
I was gonna say, ever since they traded
Shane Knox,
their D line's been a little underwhelming.
definitely doable. Spaz Holmes Harris, he did a fairly decent job in replacement, but the ability of Shane Knox honestly hasn't been replaced all the way. So getting a high caliber guy there wouldn't be a bad thing, most definitely.
For sure. And the pick is in here.
The pick is in. The pick is in. Who you got?
We have out of North Dakota State defensive end Reggie Green heading over to Charlotte.
Reggie Green, and he's going to a very, very highly touted defense for sure all the way around. Congratulations to the big Homer Resonator making it happen. It's going to be fun seeing him wearing the purple.
And that brings us back to St. Louis for the upteenth time this draft, as they've had a lot of picks.
Hey, they got a lot of holes. They better have a lot of picks. I mean, at this point. So, at this point, let me see what they can do. They could get another wide receiver.
It's wide open for him, yeah.
Yeah, Alvin Chisholm is there. His brother plays for New York, I believe. Phenom Chisholm, formerly with Huntington Beach. I remember drafting him when I was still the owner there, and definitely a fun player there. He's definitely good. What pick are we on right now? What number?
We are on number 23.
Yeah, so we're still in the second round, the tail end of it, as we move closer to the end of the third, all the good stuff. And definitely a fun draft. There's going to be a lot of availability here for what I'm seeing going into day 2 of the draft. So I hope all the owners don't fret too much. There's a lot of great big bodies here. How much TPE did Cody Lawrence have? Let's go ahead and double check. Cody Lawrence has 652. So that right there. But in regards to St. Louis, yeah, they can go safe. They could go in the secondary. They could go linebacker again if they want to just go with a straight out like clean flush at the linebacker position. D line, honestly, if you could get another edge rusher outside of Dexter Lawrence, that'll definitely help him out for sure. Yeah, a lot of things they could do. If they want to get a tight end, I believe the number one tight end, Donnell Sullivan, is still there. K-Town Chaos. He's still available as St. Louis has one more minute. Something happened.
No. No. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes. Yes, something has happened.
Oh, yeah?
Something that I've missed. Yep. There is a trade to announce, and
Okay.
I need to make a graphic.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and hit this.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Yeah, we gotta see what happens on the trade front. We got a little time before it gets presented to moi, so I can get y'all all ready to go. Can't wait to see what goes down in the DM. Very interesting set here, as I'm still looking for food to order for myself. Let me see.
Why is it in black? I want it to be in white so it shows up.
There goes that subtle racism again. Not on stream. Not on stream, man. Not on stream.
And
Can't go
this is
wrong
gonna
with
be.
can't go wrong with American deli wings and Wingstop fries. Yeah, that's definitely true. I like that.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
All right. Got that going.
Send it my way.
Yeah, as soon as it finishes, there it goes. And it's being sent your way now.
You love to see it. Go ahead and save it up. Go ahead and save like that. Let's go ahead and do it and send it over. And we are up.
All right, so the Huntington Beach Voyagers are going to get the on-the-clock pick in exchange for a New York Mafia second in Season 13 and the Huntington Beach Voyagers Season 12 fourth. So Huntington Beach up on the clock here.
Huntington Beach back up again. HPV doesn't know when to quit. They don't know when to quit. But that's why I respect Ryan Davis and the crew there. A lot of great weapons that they could add on to this defense. If they wanted to stay in the secondary, I wouldn't blame them. But honestly, there's not too many places that they can go without taking away or going towards the backup side of things. They have a lot of weapons here all the way through this team. Maybe a D lineman, an active one, if they're able to find one, could help out. Among a few other things there for sure. So we'll see how they take it. Did Tacoma get a quarterback? That will be a negative.
No, they did not.
They got two linebackers. They got Coco Raccoon, and they also have Brian Eshelman, and that is all the picks there on that set.
And we have the pick is in from Huntington Beach.
And the pick is in. What is Ryan Davis thinking about?
Well, he is thinking of taking a journey down to the University of Central Florida and picking up tight end Donnell Sullivan.
So doubling back on the tight end front. They already have three on the team, so I'd have to think if there was one they needed to take away, it'll probably be Ansel Tavian, and they could probably make that a very solid get. K-Town Chaos, definitely another one of those veterans in the Sim League game, so could be a solid 2 tight end set that HBV could be going towards in the future.
All right, and we have Toronto up on the clock, and they make their pick immediately.
Yeah, of course they do. Let's go ahead and get it. What you got?
We have out of Rutgers corner, crisscross, kind of in a weird spelled way.
Yeah, crisscross. Yep. That's C Webbs. So his player currently is with New Jersey, his halfback, but he is no longer owner, right?
Yes.
So that is definitely fair game all the way around. Crisscross heading to Toronto, adding on to another great defensive front here in the league. Still a lot of high capable bodies available in this draft. Still got some wide receivers available too. Jamar Carr hasn't been touched yet. You still have some very high quality halfbacks available, including Kaju Witten, also from NDSU. I had a fun time watching them roll with my cornerback. And speaking of which, we got a lot of admin fillers that more than likely won't touch the light of day today. So we'll be waiting for our turn more than likely. But still a lot of availability here. And who's next on the board?
That is going to be St. Louis kicking us off with the top of the third round.
Third round it is. Let's go ahead and get into it. And where do they go from here? They could get the top 3 safety that's still available, aka KC Bronco the second. That's definitely a good place to start, in my personal opinion. If they're trying to stay on defense, if they want to add another wide receiver, they can as well. I mean, Jamar Carr is still there, like I said before, with Ralph Rodriguez and Alvin Chisholm. Just Chill is gone, but Chach Menino, another NDSU guy, along with Gum Deep Guzenberg.
And we are going to be moving to a 2-minute timer for the remainder of the draft here. So 2 minutes per pick for the third round and beyond.
Cool. I'll switch it up and I'll just stop the timer when it gets to 1 minute here for St. Louis, and then I'll get it adjusted. But who are they going to pick?
That's a great question. Got to ask Turts. He has not made his pick yet.
Well, he has a minute, so tell him to hurry up.
Turts, hurry up.
Thank you. $30 seconds on the board.
Turts is typing, so a pick should be coming here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is. The pick is in.
Pick is in. St. Louis back on the board.
And we have, out of Maryland, the tight end Gunnar Gunnarsson heading to St. Louis.
Tight end Gunnar Gunnarsson. Okay. And he is at 349 TPE. So, as per talent, to start, a little bit of a reach here. In most cases, you probably could get him in the 4th, maybe. But I think Turts has been doing his research. It's more than just the TPE you start with, is how you finish when the career is over. So maybe he has something clicking in the time frame of the mind to see what they can do in the future. I love to see it.
For sure. Now we have Tacoma coming up here on the clock.
Okay. 2 minutes is here. And where does Tacoma go from here? I think this might be a good time to snag a number one receiver. If this probably as good a time as any. My personal opinion.
Well, let's see if I agree with you because I'm the one running that ship.
Mm-hmm.
And the pick is in.
Let's do it.
And we have out of the University Louisiana Lafayette, wide receiver Gurndeep Guggisberg.
Which one?
Gurndeep Guggisberg.
Okay, I see it right there. Mr. Roger doing his thing. He's joining in for Tacoma, going to the Pacific Northwest. Going to be a fun ride here as always. And Sean Bridges can always use that number one. He's been waiting to get over there. So, going to be interesting to see how he fits. He's obviously going to be the number one in my personal opinion, and he's going to be gum deep.
For sure. And fun fact, Gurndeep Guggisberg and Uncle Swoosh used to be teammates, and they used to be respective number 1 and 2 together. So, gonna be interesting to see how that plays out here now that they're in the same conference in the USFA, but as opposing teams.
Most definitely. So, who is next on the board?
That is going to be Tampa Bay making their first selection.
Yeah, it's been a while since I heard Tampa Bay, since yesterday, right? And they're looking to get their first pickup. New ownership here. First Fray will be leading it on this side. They could go with halfback if they really wanted to spell just a replacement there for Ja'Cory Dash if they really wanted to go that route. Honestly, defense, they can go they can't do any wrong going defense. The defensive line, they went heavy last season with D-line, so I don't know if that'll be where they start. But in the linebacker side of things, there's still plenty of talent available for them to grab.
Well, the pick is in.
And First Fray is not messing around here. Let's go ahead and see Tampa Bay hit the floor.
And we have, out of Wake Forest, corner Bill Whitman.
Bill Whitman hitting the floor. I love to see it. Going to be interesting to see how it fits into the secondary. They do have Jordan Vinny. Well, they did have Jordan Vinny. And they also have Loki Gunderson and what was the other one? Loki Gunderson and Leon Kennedy. So going to be a fun ride seeing how they fit. Definitely a great cornerback set here for Tampa Bay.
For sure, and that brings up Dallas up on the clock here.
On the board here, they got their quarterback here. Now, what do they do with it? Wide receiver, honestly, Dallas has a very stout wide receiver core, so I don't think that would be a great thing to do at this juncture. I think they probably should go back to the defensive front, give TJ Blackman some more help, along with Rocky Ivan, if they could go corner. Well, they got corners there. Maybe another free safety. Well, Chester Owens is good there too. They have a lot of young pieces there, so maybe they just need to work out, getting better, and keep on upgrading and add on some good talent there, maybe in the D line.
Absolutely, as Dallas up on the clock here. I mean, there's a lot of how do I put this? A lot of potential there. I think that the real limiting thing on their team before was the offense, but I think with a new man under center, there's some heavy potential for them to go upward and finally start growing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting to see what they do here. Gabriel Ziegler is there, but I don't think halfback would be this need right here.
And right as Stacks leaves, the pick is in. So we will wait for him. for this pick. Welcome back. The pick is in for Dallas.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, we have out of Fresno State defensive tackle Gus Lake heading over to the Big D in Dallas.
Very, very good pick there for sure. Dallas working on those trenches. Can't be mad at that. Getting him in the third round, a lot of value in that. He's definitely at least round 2 talent. So if you're able to get him in the third, that's definitely a great job. Dog, definitely one of those guys to watch out for too. And who is next?
Well, that is going to be Pittsburgh up on the thing.
Back on the mix again. The Roughnecks have themselves a solid draft so far, in my opinion, with their 2 picks. They got Dobbins and they got the big home at Blake Grant there on defense. So shout out to them. Where do you think they go in this particular set?
I think they continue the defense here, the defense train that they've been running. With talent kind of starting to run out on it. Maybe you look at like outside linebacker Jamison Price, or maybe free safety Casey Bronco the second.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things they could do here for sure.
Yeah, or there's still corner Trevor Hauser, so from Duke.
They could go halfback as well if they want to match up pretty easy with Mike Hawk. Gabriel Ziegler is there. Kaiju Witten's still there. White Dog, yep, White Dog. Then Wyatt Harris, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Wyatt Harris. Doesn't Wyatt Harris, the tight end, is in Anchorage. So it looks like his defensive tackle will also be available. So shout to the big homie there. As we're scrolling through some of the players here available.
And the pick is in for Pittsburgh.
The pick is in for Pittsburgh. What you got, that white guy?
We have out of Florida Atlantic, halfback Gabriel Ziegler.
That called it how I seen it, huh? That's pretty cool right there. Shout out to Gabby Ziegler doing his thing. I can't wait to see what he does. He's going to be paired up with one of the top tier backs in the league, aka Mike Hawk, and that stuff is going to help Money Mills in the offense move the ball a lot more efficiently. So can't wait to see what they do here in the future. And who is next on the board?
We have wide receiver,
Team
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay back on the mix. Already got a corner. Wide receiver group is pretty set, my personal opinion. So I probably want to lean there. I like their tight end, Travis Vaughn. Probably could get better, maybe. But I don't know if they could replicate that in the draft here. So I probably wouldn't go there. Quarterback is fine. Halfback is fine. Probably back on defense again. Maybe another safety. Maybe a safety. Buster McNutt is available at 593. JD Edwards is also there. Casey Bronco still available. So definitely could be a good thing to do safety wise. You never know.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, there's a lot of talent here left on this board. Still two 750 halfbacks. Still a number of 750 wideouts. The defense side has dried up a little bit, but still free safety Casey Bronco the second is still out there, 750. So I mean, really kind of up to him how he wants to play this right now.
You still got Akaj Noslow as well if they want to go with the outside linebacker. If they want to double back, get some more help to get some pass rush help. That's definitely doable for sure. Kamikaze Von Doom there, he's their middle linebacker, looking real nice. I mean, still got plenty of 750s left too. So it looks like what pick are we on right now?
We are actually almost at the bottom of the third here.
So,
We are at pick number 30.
okay, so we got another 6 picks, including this one.
So 7 total.
So we'll have so at this point, unless none of the unless all of the 750s get picked with these last set right here, like you're looking at, like we should have some 750s left going into tomorrow, which is definitely a fun sight to see. Dog and I'm still there, halfback 704, and he joined the chat, so he could definitely be a great guy to help out with Ulf Jacobson there in the backfield.
Well, and Ulf Jacobson is actually going to be
free
heading
agent.
to free agency.
Yeah,
so
if they wanted to go a different direction there, that could be a solid pick. I keep forgetting that he was a free agent, but yeah, definitely a lot of availability all the way around here for Tampa.
And we have the pick in here from Tampa.
Let's go ahead and do it then. First spray, what you thinking?
He is thinking of taking a first-time user, a dude that has been in the chat, out of the chat, back in the chat, back out of the chat, and back in it, then back out of it. And have I mentioned back in and back out again?
At least another 3 more times.
Something like that. Made his player from Alabama. We are talking about halfback Jason Banks heading to Tampa Bay.
Haven't had that many first time entry into the draft, or at least player wise. Not as much as we had last season. We only had 2 of them. So shout out to the big homie there. Jason Banks going to be more than likely the starting halfback of the future here for Tampa, and can't wait to see what he does with the new front in the big leagues.
And we have Tacoma up on the clock.
A lot of picks here for Tacoma tonight. Can't be mad at it. So far, they have 3, so solid job. They're going to have more than 3 exiting the first day of the draft. And honestly, you got a middle linebacker, you got a wide receiver, you got another middle linebacker. Honestly, if you was to go defensive end, work on the front 7, that'll probably make the most sense to me. They missed out on El Jefe, which in my opinion kind of sucks for them. I think he would have been a great fit for him on a team that's building back up. But as far as talent, there's still plenty left. I believe there is Uno Mas left in the top, I think. Maybe? No, I'm wrong. Okay, so all the major defensive linemen are out of the top 750. So if he was to go to the next level, actually none in the next level either. So we'll have to go to tier 3. Still have Justin Banks there from FAU. Dennis Wawa, assured fame. He's definitely an active guy there. Shout out to my boy. And let's see, if you want to go outside of D-line, honestly, secondary help would be greatly appreciated. And I believe there is still a solid guy in secondary there from Casey Bronco the second still there. Most definitely Trevor Hauser, Gnaw King, they're from Duke. So a lot of availability. Did you say Tacoma?
Yeah, I did say Tacoma.
Okay, I had the wrong one up then. I put Toronto, but I flipped it there. And looks like their time is up now.
Well, that is great because the pick is just about in here.
Let's go ahead and do it then. What you doing, Tacoma?
They are going to go to Texas Tech and pick up outside linebacker Ikaj Naslo.
Go heavy on that linebacker set. I can't be mad at it. They do have, I would say, probably a C to C plus graded linebacker core last season. But with these picks here, like Akaj, you got Brian, you got the homie Coco. Like, this is actually a pretty big force here, especially if they're all active too. Going to be a fun ride here.
And that'll bring up, now it's Toronto.
Okay. And Toronto is up. And just to do a quick review of what they've done up to this point, they got Chris Cross, the cornerback. They have outside linebacker Bam Butler, wide receiver Just Chill, and I believe that is it up to this point. So they got corner, they got outside linebacker, they got wide receiver. If I was to make a choice for them, they'll probably
Well, you're not going to get to make a choice because it's already been made.
Well, I'm still gonna say they're probably in defense. Probably wrong.
Well, you probably are wrong because they are selecting out of FAU wide receiver Levi Thames the second.
Okay, so they're doubling up on the wide receiver core, giving Jax James some more weapons. Definitely a good job there. And adding on to this great team that won the championship. So can't be mad at that. As we go ahead and move into the next set of picks, who's next?
We have up next Detroit.
Got the Hellhounds back at it. Still got some 750s available. Kaiju Witten's still here. Max Prime is still here. Ralph Rodriguez at wide receiver still here, dissolving, doing his thing. See Jameson Price and Alvin Chisholm still on the board. And then you also have Casey Bronco the second there doing his thing. So a lot of availability here for Detroit.
Absolutely is Detroit. I'll even tag Calvin here just to make sure he gets it. But they're a pretty complete team. I like their draft so far. It's addressed the few needs that they have. But I think just continuing to build depth throughout like the wide receiver room or even maybe the linebackers or D line might be helpful for them.
Mm-hmm. Got 1 more minute left on the clock. So it's pick 32. They got this pick from New York, I believe, right?
I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking at my set now. I'll make sure it was right. But if nothing's changed from what you sent me on the
that was Toronto via New York. This is pick 33 for Detroit.
Okay, so that is good there.
After that, we get Charlotte, Tacoma, and Toronto to close out the day.
Let's go ahead and do it then, as we are currently at 3 seconds, still waiting on Kawu and Samurai Jacker.
Well, the pick is in at the last possible second here.
Shot clock cheese, can't be mad at it. What you thinking?
They are thinking they're going to head over to Cincinnati and pick up wide receiver Ralph Rodriguez.
Definitely a big boy pick right there. And as we're seeing the top tier wide receivers coming off of the board, definitely a great pickup. Give your quarterback some help. Action Jackson Jr., we remember when he won the championship back in season 8. He had a very high stud setup in the wide receiver group. So with Sean McGowan, you got Uncle Swoosh, or what Caboose calls anti-swish. I mean, there's a lot of availability here to get that pass game rolling. And who we said was next to Tacoma again?
It is gonna. Hold on. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Charlotte. Okay. Charlotte.
And then Tacoma.
Yeah, Charlotte, then Tacoma. So Charlotte is on the board here. Just to review what they've done, they got Reggie Green at defensive end. They got Zumi Anderson at strong safety. And up to that point, that is all she wrote in regards to the draft. So let's see how Charlotte gets into the mix here. They could go with a honestly, they could do a good amount of things here. Let me see. They could go linebacker here. Jameson is right there. Price 83. If they wanted to double back with the wide receiver group, they could get Alvin Chisholm. And if they was to go a little bit deeper, let's see. Garrett Evans at linebacker is solid, along with safety. Well, they already got a safety, but if they was to go free safety, they could get J.D. Edwards there doing his thing. I see you, big homie. So, got one more minute on the clock here for Charlotte. Let's see.
The pick is in.
And it's in just like that. I was about to sneeze, but I ain't sneezing no more. What you got?
We have out of Appalachian State outside linebacker Jamison Price, and then we get Tacoma up on the clock.
Big body linebacker, heavy hitter, knows how to strip the football, great on all fronts. I love that pick there, and that's definitely a steal. If there's a steal in the draft, we found one here. And he said Tacoma Ray.
Yep.
Okay, Tacoma is on the board. Another pick here for the Eruption. We already have 4 up to this point. Let's see what they got left. They could go cornerback here. Trevor Hauser is right there.
I've already made the pick, so.
Okay, I'm gonna shut my mouth and call me Nancy. What are your thoughts?
Nancy? Well, Nancy, they are going to be taking out of Duke cornerback Trevor Hauser.
It's like I'm reading the minds. I can do it all by myself. Just kidding, I can't do it all by myself. I need you, don't leave. But a great pick nonetheless. And the secondary for Tacoma gets that much better. They needed a lot of help. They were getting burnt on a lot of plays, especially going up against Huntington Beach. So getting a fast body to match them, nothing wrong with that.
For sure, and that brings us up to the last pick of the day. We have the Toronto Wraiths.
Toronto Wraiths here. Final pick of the third before we close it up and go into rounds 4 through 7 tomorrow, starting at the same time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And definitely interesting set here. We're just waiting on Tom to get his pick out, whatever that may be.
And it is out. Maybe a bit of a surprise here.
But I already knew Krim is on this game. What is he picking up?
He is going to be taking out of University Central Florida free safety J.D. Edwards.
And J.D. Edwards will be the final pick here in day 1. Adding on to a very strong secondary here for Toronto. They're looking out for the other teams. They see all the big plays they're making, getting those weapons. And that's going to be an interesting start to the draft. First day over.
So what are your thoughts here as we wrap up on the first official day of the draft?
I'd say my top 3 winners right now going into this will be Tacoma. I'll have to say Pittsburgh and Detroit. I would put St. Louis up there, even though they did get a lot of picks. They got some picks there were, lower in talent. But I think with what was available on those 3 teams that I mentioned, they got a lot of pieces to fill a lot of holes. And I think just off of this first day alone, they definitely elevated to the next level. Now it's just got to see what they do on the field. But overall, everyone did very well, getting exactly what they needed. Solid trades going through, and HBV getting back into the mix too on some solid picks. So I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing for the league, but we'll see how it turns out for them.
For sure. And so that'll bring us to the end of day number 1. We still have rounds 4 through 7 coming tomorrow, same time, 7:30 Eastern. So be ready for that. And this took what, about two-ish hours?
2 hours, 15 minutes.
So looking forward to seeing you guys again coming out here tomorrow. And Dax, go ahead, do your thing.
I'll do my thing. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Getting another start of the draft going. We got to keep it moving. Make sure you show some love. We're back in it. Going to get some graphics out a little bit later. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow, same time. Rounds 4 through 7 is coming. Make sure you get your picks ready.